Side. I am your host, Jeff Doggett, coming to you on the greatest station in the nation, from the greatest location in the nation. Shout out to everybody listening to us as far north as Kennebunkport, Maine, as far south as Key West, Florida, as far east as Long Island, New York, and as far west as Long Beach, California. To all those listening to us in points in between there as well, shout out to you as also. For those of you that are listening to us around the world, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whichever greeting best suits the locale that you are in. There are several things that you can do to stop the spread of respiratory diseases such as COVID-19. One, wash your hands with warm water for at least 20 seconds. Now, if you don't know what 20 seconds are, just sing happy birthday to yourself. And when you've completed that song, you've completed 20 seconds. Number two, cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. Yes, I know you say, Jeff, that's common sense. Well, if you're like me, you know that one of the least common things out there today is common sense. So please cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze. Number three, if you are sick, stay at home. I can't say that strongly enough. Please stay at home. That job, that function, or whatever it is, you just feel like you have to be there. Guess what? Sorry to burst your little bubble, but it can't go on without you. And stay away from people who are sick. Also, wipe down frequently touched items with some type of disinfectant. And you may want to mix in some hand sanitizer in your vehicle so that when you go to the gas station and pump your gas, that you can then sanitize your hands afterwards, since you do not know who touched that pump prior to you touching it. And this was, also, too, let me just say this. Let Uncle Jeff say this to you. If you are in a enclosed area, like an arena or a theater or a playhouse or church or a shopping mall, wherever you are, please wear your mask. Please. This is not over. As a matter of fact, it's more from a pandemic to an endemic, meaning it's going to be around for a while. And this was brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station, No Static Radio, where we don't bring the static, but we sure enough bring the noise, powered by Google and sponsored by Lamont Avenue Wines. If you are in the Cleveland area, on the first or third Saturday of each month, I've got some wonderful news for you. On the first and third Saturday of each month at 6812 Woodland Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio, they are giving away a free bag of groceries. That's right, free in that, as in you don't have to pay. Free in that there's no cost to it, or whatever other definition you want to apply to the word free, that applies. Now listen, this is every first and third Saturday of the month at 6812 Woodland Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio. What are the hours, you ask? Well, that's a good question. The hours are from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But listen, not only do you get a free bag of groceries, but you also get free clothing for adults and children. That's right, you get free clothing for yourself, and you get free clothing for Pookie and Lil Kiki and Ray Ray and Shaniqua and them. Okay? So you get free bag of groceries and you get free clothing. But the good news doesn't stop there, folks. No, because if you are there between 10:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m., you get a free hot lunch. Who said there's no such thing as a free lunch? Well, at 6812 Woodland Avenue on the first and third the first and third Saturday of each month, there's a free lunch. So look at this. You get free bag of groceries. You get free clothing. And if you're there during the right time, you go home with a full stomach of a good home-cooked meal free of charge. And listen, you do not have to show proof of residence. You don't have to show proof of income. The only thing you have to show is up in that you show up. And we want to give a shout out to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, to Major Care Ministries, and also Williams Temple Church of God in Christ, who houses this event the first and third Saturday of each month. Well, those of you that are regular listeners to the right side, you know what we do and you know how we do it. For those of you that are new, Where have you been all this time? No, just serious. No, just teasing. So for those of you that are new to this show, this is how we do it. All apologies to Montel Jordan. Well, first of all, we talk politics and sports and the issues of the day. I throw out some topics on the table. I give my take on those topics, and then we invite you to call in with your take on said topics at 216-939-5087. 216-939-5087. But when we have guests in the studio, we cater that time slot that they're in here, to the field of expertise that they are in. Now, if you've been listening to us this month, you know that March is Women's History Month, and we've been featuring prominent women throughout the month. The first week of the month, we had two queens talking sports in the studio. We had Lady Shanti and Brenda Holbert in. And then last week we had Billy J. Gilliam, who is the clinical director of all the YWCAs here in Cleveland. We talked about mental health and stress and what have you. So today we have a special treat for you, because in both hours we have outstanding guests, outstanding women from fields that just you're going to be very so much interested in. And so in our first hour, we are honored to have in studio with us Miss Irene Jones. And Miss Jones is the, yes. Miss Jones is the founder and the director of Josiah House, which is located in Cleveland, Ohio. And we're going to be talking to her about that, and she's going to give us some very pertinent and useful information during this time. And well, I won't give it away. You have to listen to see what it is the Josiah's House is all about and where her field of expertise is. So, Ms. Jones, first of all, welcome to the Right Side and welcome to No Static Radio. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you for inviting me.
So pull your mic just a little closer to you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
So, who is Irene Jones? Tell our audience. I know they're just dying to know who are you?
Irene Jones is somebody that stepped out on faith, I would say 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Left my job. I was an RTA bus operator. And my son, I had to place him in a group home in Akron. I think it was Akron. No, I'm sorry. It was Ashtabula. And I found out that they were drugging him, putting him on the wrong medication. So I had to step out on faith and take every dime I had to start Josiah's House.
And what is Josiah's House? What does it do? What is the function of Josiah's House?
Well, what we do is we provide services to people who are impacted by autism and developmental disability. And I shared with you when you sent me that text on you saying autism, hopefully I'll be able to share why I changed that language. But yes, impacted by individuals with autism. And when you're a mom, I mean, that's my passion. Josiah was diagnosed when he was 3, and now he's 32 years young. And he's my drive, he's my inspiration of moving forward.
And so tell me and let our audience know, why did you change that label? Is there stigma attached with autism? Or is that why you changed the label?
Yes. I didn't know if you saw the interview. We were Channel 5 News, Courtney Goosen came in and did an interview with Josiah's House. And in the language that she used, and I did too, was special needs, autistic, autism. We said that a couple of times. So everybody was just so blessed by the interview, and it was just really good. But then, it's always a backside, right? Mm-hmm. So a young lady who is on the autism spectrum, she emailed me. And she gave me all the accolades, and she said, man, I really appreciate what you do in the community, for the community. She said, but when you use the language autistic and special needs and developmental disability, she said it sets barriers for us, meaning that people look at us like, we're on the side, we don't have nothing to offer. And she said it set barriers. And she said words are powerful. And I'm telling you, when she said that, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And she said, if you think about it, we all have special needs.
Mhm.
Now, come on, that's the truth.
Mhm.
We do, we really do.
Mhm.
So she said, moving forward, can we use, instead of saying autistic, can we say impacted by autism? Instead of saying special needs, can we say impacted by special needs? So, you know what? Like I shared with her, I said, you know what? When Josiah was diagnosed, that's all the language I ever knew. Because that's what they said to me.
Right.
He was special needs.
Right.
I told her, I said, but when you know better, remember Mama used to say that, when you know better, you do better.
That's
So
right.
that's where
That's
we
right.
are, and that's where I'm going, and that's the language. That's why I hurried up and said to you, can we use the language impacted?
And that's what we change it to. That's why I allowed you to introduce it, and I didn't mention anything about it in our introduction of this hour
Yeah.
of the show. And by the way, those of you that are listening, or some that if you're viewing us on YouTube or Facebook right now, Miss Jones has her son Josiah in the studio
Yes,
with us
Mhm.
today.
Yeah.
So, what are the challenges that parents who are parents of a impacted child, yes, face?
The challenges are, a lot of the community members don't understand this community.
Mhm.
So educate. That's what I did. When I found out about autism, I had to educate myself. But I'm gonna tell you something. They are some of the greatest of the great people to have work for you, to interact with. But a lot of times, because they don't understand this community, that's the barrier. That's the challenge. They don't want them interact. They don't want them coming in working for them. But I'm telling you, when the group that I have is, I think, let me see, I have 22 people that I service. And I'm telling you, when I get up in there, I'm not telling you I don't be dealing with my own personal issues, but when I get in the door, I have to put my issues on the side. And it's all about the friends. That's what we call them. I don't call them consumers. I don't call them clients. I call them friends.
Now, are you a one woman show, or do you have people on staff working with you? Or?
Now, I couldn't do this by myself because they all got their own personality. I'm telling you, sometimes y'all got to come. You got to come and visit one day. But no, I'm not doing it. It takes a team. And who is that team? Other mothers like myself. Because when I first started Josiah's House, I thought I was the one man show.
Mhm.
But I was marketing Josiah's House the wrong way. And the Lord spoke to me. He said, you're marketing it the wrong way. I said, Lord, what am I doing wrong here? He said, you need to reach out to other parents like yourself. So that's what I started doing. I just started Facebook and all the platforms and just sharing my story. And it drew other parents. So now pretty much my staff is other parents like myself. Who else going? I just feel that passion is. I'm more passion driven than I am entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur, but I'm more passion driven. And when you passionate about something, oh my Lord, come on now.
Yes, yes. When you're passionate about it, it really is not work, it's a ministry. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
You're listening to the right side on No Static Radio, where we don't bring the static, but we sure don't bring the noise. We have in studio with us the founder and the director of Josiah's House of Cleveland, Ohio, Miss Irene Jones. Ms. Jones, this disorder, if you will, what causes it? Is it a emotional? Is it a neurological? What type of disorder is it?
You know, to be honest with you, I don't think they know themselves. They got so many different components. But for me and my own personal, like Josiah, he's not verbal yet.
Mhm.
I'm standing on the word, believing God that one day he's going to say, Mom, great job. Because for what I do, with everything that I do, he's always with me. He always helping. But I don't think they know themselves what it is. All I know is their brain works a little different than ours. Okay, some of them are verbal, some are nonverbal, some of them are aggressive. I've seen where some of them will pretty much slap you upside, but it's just different degrees of autism. But it's not. I wouldn't call it a disease. I would just say it's just the brain works differently than other brains. That's all. They understand everything that you say. I know he do. I don't care what I say to him. He talks with his eyes. If you was to interact with him, maybe for an hour or two, you would pick it up. You would know. It's just something about when he talking to you, he can talk to you with his eye. It's amazing. They are some of the brilliant people. And then do you notice? I don't know if you notice, but they also gifted. Some of them are artists. Some of them are musicians. Now Josiah sings songs that me and you grew up with.
Wow.
Where did he hear that at? Come on. And sometimes I be in the room and he's singing something that came back in 1950, 60. I said, Father, where did he get that? Come on. Come on. Very gifted. So like you say, well, you call it ministry, it is ministry. For me, it's ministry. When I first started, it wasn't ministry. I got to be honest with you, it was just that I need to make that money. I done left my job. I need to do this. But then as the years went on, the Lord was unraveling to me that it was going to be other Josiahs that we were going to touch.
You're listening to The Right Side on No Static Radio. Our calling number is 216-939-5087. 216-939-5087. If you have any questions or comments for our guest, Ms. Jones, on a daily basis at Josiah's house, what are your duties? What is the typical day, if you will, at Josiah's house?
Okay, well, typical day is exercise. We get in there between 9 and 9:30. Something about exercising. Now, let me ask you, I don't know, do you exercise or not?
Yes,
Well,
I do.
okay.
As a matter of fact, I was at, a very well-known, I'm not gonna give them a free
No.
plug, but a very well-known, they advertised on television, gym this morning.
Okay, so how did you feel when you left there?
Well, it felt good.
It felt good, didn't it? Okay, so can you imagine? Come on. How they feel, if it's walking, if it's the weed, if it's just dance, if it's just the treadmill. I believe in working out. Because what that workout do, right, it helps with that brain. If anything going on doesn't happen the night before or in the morning when they got in the van, it's something about exercising. So that's our typical day. We're going to work out at least between 30, 35 minutes. Then it kind of calmed down. Now when the pandemic hit, we were not able to do the hands-on. But God blessed me with a young lady. Her name is Marion. She also has a son who's impacted by autism. Marion was able to take their programs, each and every one of them. Like Josiah's working on, it used to be tied shoes, but now he's working on personal hygiene. And let me just give you a shout out. I really like how you started that show with washing your hands. That's what we learned. Coughing in your arm, washing your hands. Washing your hands is the most important thing. People don't realize that. If you wash your hands, that will stop a lot of diseases and sickness. So I wanted to come and pat you on your back when you start.
I mean, it's just like we
Yeah.
said in the opening. It's common sense.
It's common sense.
But
Come on.
the least common thing is common sense.
Come on.
People, that's how we grew up. Cover your mouth when you
Come on.
sneeze. Wash your hands when
Wash
you
your
come from
hands.
outside.
Come on.
And somehow we lost that.
We lost
and
that,
then
yeah.
now pandemic comes, and now all of a sudden people rediscover things that we were doing all along.
Come on. So it's just amazing for them, for the friends learning that. But she took those programs because it's called an ISP. Each one have their own individual ISP.
Mm-hmm. And what is ISP?
It's an individual service plan.
Okay.
And it's tweaked to their needs. So she took YouTube videos, and now it's this new thing called Doobly. I don't know if you're familiar with Doobly. And what it does, it creates different programs where, like, when Josiah sits down at the computer and says, "Good morning, Josiah," it's his own program. And he's able to watch that for a few, maybe 20, 25 minutes, different things, showing him how to wash his hands, showing him how to properly cover his mouth. So you got each individual working on different programs that's tweaked to them. But I really like how you started out with that. That is so important. And so that's our typical day. They work on their programs, and then after program, on lunchtime, we have some downtime. They pick a movie, what they want to watch, and then 1 o'clock, we right back up. What does that look like? We might be doing some karaoke. We might be baking some cookies. We might be doing something. But now it's changing at the state. The state want them out in the community. So guess what Miss Irene had to do? I had to find community members that would let them come in and do some volunteering. So we connected with the Eye Center, the Cleveland Eye Center. They're going to be going there, volunteering there. Then we connected with the Women's Shelter. They're going to be going there and volunteering. Eventually, it won't be that type of setting where they're coming in. Guess what they'll be doing? We'll be picking them up and straight in the community all day to around about maybe 2 o'clock, and then we'll take them home. I'm really excited about this next phase of Josiah's.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
great. So, are there different? because you said your son Josiah is now, but eventually one day you believe in God that he will be verbal. But at this moment, he's nonverbal.
He's
Are there
nonverbal.
different stages of autism? Like, are there some that are verbal,
Mhm.
or is it different
It's
phases
they're
or
different
stages?
levels. They're different levels. Now Josiah is his where he is. He's laid back. He's very laid back. He just like to eat. That's it. That's his
Nothing wrong
thing.
with that.
I know,
I
but
like
you,
that
but,
too.
but you have to stop him
Mhm.
because he'll eat and keep eating till he gets sick.
Okay.
That's not good. So he have to understand you full, you cool, dude. That's it. But you got other people that might not like to eat, but might be aggressive. I've met parents with that. Now, when they come into my program and they, like I had a tour the other day, and the father was saying he want his daughter to come. Well, that's good. That's income. That's good. But you have to use wisdom when you bring in people. You know what I mean? In first of all, you want to make sure it's a good fit.
Right.
Right? Come on, you want to make sure it's a good fit. And then that parent, when she see the other friends in there, she gonna know if her or her son or whatever is gonna be a good fit in the environment. But here's the gift that God has given me. When I always want to meet the friend. I don't never just, okay, let him come on. Mm-mm. I have to connect. How is that? I call it discernment. I know it's just something in me. I can connect to say if this gonna be a good fit or not. If I feel it's not gonna be a good fit, then I don't never say, well, they can't come, because that's not right, right? It's the way you have to say things.
Mhm.
I just say right now, I don't believe it'll be a good fit, and I don't have the staffing to be able to meet their need. See, I'm about the need, because we're not gonna be here forever. And as parents, that's right, come on.
Right.
And as parents, we can't depend on the government to take care of our children. As parents, we have to come together and strategize and figure out what we gonna do when we leave here. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
You're so right. And so, as far as your staff is concerned, are these people that are trained in
Yes.
this?
We're certified because
Okay,
Ms.
so you
Irene
have to be
Josiah's house is certified through the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities.
Okay.
I had to take that, get that certification, and then my staff has to go through the trainings, and Miss Irene have to go through the trainings too, and then that's how we able to provide the services that we provide.
And as far as funding is concerned, are you a private nonprofit? Are you
Yes.
funded by government?
Yes, I am a 501c3. But here's what's up with that. These young men and women are on waivers, and the waivers come through the state. And what happens is after they in the 15, 16 stage, they can even start early when they're still in school. There's a transition coordinator who, when they're in that impacted by special needs, she follows along with those young people. Once they return 16, 17, 18, they start looking for places like mine, like Josiah's house, to see if that will be a good fit. Because they have to have somewhere for them to go once they transition out of high school. The waiver is what pays for them to attend programs like myself. So what does that waiver look like? It could be, it's just like a budget, and we bill Medicaid for them to come to and provide the services. But the services that we provide, right, we also do dance therapy. His name is Desi Marlowe. He comes once a month, and he's a licensed therapist. He also helped with, like, if they might be dealing with mental issues or depression. But it's something about that dance. Well, guess what? That waiver don't pay for that. That comes out of the budget. So that's how come, as a nonprofit, I'm always looking for ways where we can raise funds, so we can keep it moving. It takes money, you know that. That headphone, you had to pay for that headphone sitting on top of your head, right? It takes money.
In a way, the station paid for it, but in a way, yes.
Everything
yes,
costs.
Yes, you're right.
Nothing is free, so it takes money to do that. I hear a lot of times parents say, "Oh, Miss, how are you doing such a great job?" But show me how I'm doing a great job. It's called support me. Come on.
So, with that in mind, how do you go about raising funds? Like, do you have anything on the horizon?
Yes, we have our 10th annual fashion show fundraiser coming up at the Doubletree on Saturday, May 13th at 11 o'clock. Now, this is not your typical fashion show. I'm telling y'all, you're going to need tissue, and I want you to come. Because Miss Irene sacrificed today, because usually I'm at home watching Andy Griffin. But I sacrificed today to come and do this show for you. So I want you to come, get a ticket, and come. I'm telling you, when you see them come out, it's not about their clothes. You know what they talk about? We talk about their dreams and their goals and what they want to accomplish. Because they have goals and dreams just like me and you.
Right.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, you're going to need your tissue. And then we're going to have vendors in the house and we're going to be doing some raffle back. It's going to be off the hook at the Doubletree, Saturday, May 13th at 11 o'clock. The tickets are $60, which includes your meal. But it also will help us to continue to provide services to individuals who are impacted by autism.
And how, and I'm going to let you do it at the end of our interview time here too, but how do people go about getting these tickets?
Okay, they can go right on our website, josiahshouseInc.org, right on our website, and just click. You'll see me and Josiah got our hands up. Got our hands up. We got our look. He got his tuxedo on, and you just click right on there, and it'll take you right through that PayPal. It goes straight into our account.
Okay, great. That sounds great. Now, let me ask you this, because being a minister, being a licensed minister as you are,
Mm-hmm.
I did my homework. Okay?
I see you did.
But what spiritual aspect, how large of a part does the spiritual aspect play in your inner workings on a daily basis on what you do there at Josiah's house?
It's a very large part, because I couldn't do this without the Lord. I'm telling you, I just couldn't do it. When he was diagnosed, I was very angry with God, because I thought I did everything, didn't do drugs, did everything I needed to do, okay, as a mom, carrying him. But I had no idea it was bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? So after, in those years, I wasn't saved. I hadn't gave my life to Christ. But then after he started, he don't give it to you. He don't show you it all. He give you a little bit, little bit, little bit. But this is what I was born to do. RTA, well, let me even back up a little bit more. I worked at Case Western Missouri. I did that for 23 years.
Right, I was
Cleaning,
that.
come on, cleaning toilets.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did. And then one day a professor said something to me, and the way he said it, get that garbage can. He just said to me, I'm like, I ain't got to do this. I have a diploma. But mind you, I never took advantage of going to school there because my mom worked there. I could have went to school for free. Never took advantage. But I went outside one day and I was sitting on the thing and I saw the buses going. I said, I wonder, can I do that? Can I drive that bus? So not knowing that our life, just like you sitting up here, I'm hearing how you roll it out. You got the gift of gab. That's your gift. We all have a purpose in life. We all do. We're not just here existing. We have to find out what our purpose is. And my Lord, I have tapped into it. I'm here to help other parents like myself. Come on. Not just at Josiah's house, but it's ministry. Ministering to the friends. Ministering to the parents. Come on, let's get this thing. Somebody was talking about a campus. I'm like, Lord, that's really big there. But see, it ain't about me. It ain't about me. So yes, every day I have to ask the Lord. I get in his presence. Father, give me what I need to get through the day. Because some days I'm not feeling that. Some days I don't feel like it. But the Holy Spirit will give me that nugget. Come on. But somebody said, nobody got that kind of energy. Because when I drove the bus, sometimes I would have to be there at 12 o'clock at night. And I'd be in there just live wire. And all the bus drivers said, now nobody got that kind of energy. But that's how I'm wired.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's how I'm wired. I can't help it. It's like it's electric. My sister in the Lord, Pastor Wilma, said the other night, she said, you keep walking by faith. And you keep letting that faith walk electrify because it ignites people's faith. And that's how come I'm where I'm at today. Faith got me here. You hear what I say, Pastor?
I hear you.
Faith got me here, Pastor, I'm telling you. Because where I live, where I'm at now at Josiah's house, my rent, are you hearing me? Listen, my rent is $5,621.23. And when I first started, I had one friend. So I wasn't paying myself. Come on. But faith got me here. Oh, Lord, that's a whole nother story. Oh, my Lord.
Start preaching on that. You're listening to The Right Side on No Static Radio. We don't bring the static, but we sure enough bring the noise. We have in studio with us the founder and the director of Josiah's House, Cyrene Jones. Our call-in number is 216-939-5087. 216-939-5087 if you have any questions for her. So you said that Josiah was diagnosed when he was 3.
3 years old, yes.
So for the first 2 years of his life, I'm just curious, were you concerned? Were there any signs or something that you think something was just kind of not regular here?
But see, here's what really got to me, Pastor. He was saying words, Mom, Cookie, Daddy, and then he stopped. So what was up with that? I didn't understand that neither. But one day I was driving, right, and I turned around and blood was everywhere. He done bit his arm, and I knew then something was wrong. And that's when we took him to the doctor, and she diagnosed that. But see, look at that. See how the words are powerful. She spoke that thing. See, that's what I'm saying. We have to be careful what comes out of our mouth. And then I wasn't saved. I didn't understand how we can cancel something. You don't have to receive negative reports. I didn't understand that then. But you know what? It's okay. Because you know what? Jesus died for autism. Come on, yes he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yes he did. Yes he did. And where I'm at, I'm only talking about me now. I believe my faith says my son gonna talk one day. Again. In full sentences. Yeah. I'm decreeing and declaring that.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. That's why.
I will touch and agree.
You agree with me?
Yes.
All right, so when I call you with the report, you ain't gonna fall out.
Nope. Not at all. Because I know, give me the start. I know what he can do. So
come on now.
I know what he can do.
Come on.
Are there people that have been diagnosed with this? Are there people, because I know Josiah lives with you, but are there people that can live independently?
Oh,
and
yeah.
be on their own?
This technology now, we went and viewed an apartment. That technology, when you come in the door, it'll tell you, Pastor at the door, just like a Siri. And alarm him, let him know. So say like you got seizure, your child have a seizure, the bed will shake. It'll shake so it'll notify what you call the people, the emergency, the first responder, and they'll come in and send help in there. So yeah, the technology that they have now, they can live by themselves. Eventually, I see him living not by himself, but possibly with a roommate. As a matter of fact, his first cousin goes to Josiah's house. So him and his mom, we've been talking about it. They have the cameras now. Like if I want to go to the grocery store, I can watch him. I can see him on the cameras on my phone. That technology is something else, where they can actually live in an apartment by themselves. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's great, because that's good to know, because I was curious about this when I was putting this together, if that was possible.
Yeah.
So is there an age limit to those that you take in at Josiah's house?
They start at 18, and then my oldest gentleman there, his name is Richard. He's 65, I believe, going on 70 years old. And Richard just like to come and have fun. He loves Johnny Cash. We put Johnny Cash on for him, and he just loves to dance and little jerk there. He likes to wipe the tables off of Miss Irene because we just opened up our cafe. You got to come and get something from the cafe. We just reopened 2 days a week, do little sandwiches. So Richard helps with that cafe. Yeah, so he's 70-something years old, but that's pretty much at that top, is 70 years old.
Okay, and you said the youngest is 18. Do you have minor children? You don't have any minor children.
We don't do the minor children, but there are services through the Cuyahoga County Board that if you have children that's young and you have not tapped into that resource, you all need to call the county board, Cuyahoga County Board of Development and Disability, and call and ask for intake. So say like you need some respite care, or you need some guidance on other things, you can tap into that. So when the summertime comes and they want to go to camp, there's funding for that they will pay for. Because parents, we do need a break, you know?
Well, yeah, parents that children who are not dealing with what you're dealing with, they need break too, so yeah. So do you think that any way your previous employment at CASE or at with the Regional Transit Authority, do you think in any way those jobs help prepare you for what you're doing now?
Yes, sir. And you know why I say that? Here's the way, Miss Nixon, I never forget. I started at Josiah's house. One friend was Josiah. She always used to tell me when she come, because we had floors we had to clean. And when she would come and inspect my work, I never seen nothing like it in my life. She would put her whole head in the urinal. She was a detail cleaner.
Wow.
Oh yeah, she
That
wasn't no
is
joke.
detailed.
She wasn't no joke. She wasn't no joke. And I thought it was crazy because I was young. I didn't know. But she would say, Irene, just because a bathroom look clean don't mean it's clean. She would tell me that. I didn't understand it. But then after Josiah's house, we got going, it came back to me. It came back, everything that she taught me. She told me, anytime you're going to do anything, Irene, do it right. Don't half do it. Don't just half clean the table. Do it right. And that stuck with me. Pastor, I'm not kidding. That stuck with me. When I got ready to leave our team, a driver told me, I wouldn't tell him nothing. Just go on and leave. No. When you exit right. Because you don't know. Down the line, whatever you lay down, whatever you read, it comes back. You use, it's called integrity.
Yes, that's the
And
word.
that's what she taught me. You hear what I said to you? Kay, she taught me that. RTA taught me how to deal with people. We were walking in here and I told her, I drove that 15. I drove that 14. And on the 14, that's all they were. I ain't bus driver. I ain't got my money. Just take a seat, sir. Just take a seat. It taught me how to be patient with people. So yes, come on. Look how this went. Now I'm in my purpose. But I had to come through CASE. I had to come through RTA so I can learn something. And guess what? I'm still learning. I ain't arrived. But he's perfecting those things that concerns Irene. So when I transition out of here, I just want to hear him say, oh, come on. That's it. It's ministry. That's what Jesus came to do, to help people. Anytime you say, well, I got to pray about it. Why do you have to pray about it if you're helping somebody? You shouldn't have to pray about that. If you're helping people, that's the ministry. That's what God wants us to do, is to help each other.
That's right.
Oh, Lord, that's another Sunday. All right, I'm excited. Let's go. I'm ready to go. I got to go now. I got to go like what they call, what that man that ran? What was his name?
What's that?
They ran. They kept running.
Oh,
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. I feel like running like the Lord.
Run, Forrest, run. You're listening to the right side on No Static Radio. We don't bring the static, but we sure enough bring the noise. Our call-in number is 216-939-5087. 216-939-5087. If there's a parent out there now that's listening to us right now and has a child that could use your services, what would they need to do? Where are you located? How is there a process they have to go through? How does that happen?
Yes, it is a process. Now, if they're young, they that we can't service them. We only service 18. I keep hearing you say Cleveland. We're in Brooklyn. We're in Brooklyn Heights, Ohio.
Okay.
Nice little community. Remind me of the Andy Griffith show.
Yeah, I know.
The judges, everybody, one man. But anyway, that's where we are.
Don't get caught speeding over there.
You ain't get them ticket over there.
No, thank God.
I know, right? They don't play.
No.
But yeah, they would start. If they would have to be 18. But if they wanted to tap into the services, just like they can go to the website and see all the services we provide. But they need to have a support administrator. That's the person. She's the one who has the budget. She's the one that set up the tour. There has to be a support administrator or either a transition coordinator if they're still in school. All of that happens from that side of it. I don't have nothing to do with that. But we're out there. Now here's the thing. When I first started, they wasn't feeling me too tough. First of all, I was the only African American woman doing what I do, right? I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know what I was doing. But as a mama, I knew what I was doing. And so now, guess what? They all, Miss Irene, can you take one more? Miss Irene, can you take one more? I can't take too many more because the space we got we're limited.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now we're growing. My goal, 2 years, I want my own building. That's what I'm believing God for my own building. It's time to go. We've been there going on 14 years and have not missed a beat.
So when you first started 14 years ago, was it just you and Josiah?
Me and Josiah. Every day. And my landlord, right? He was watching me. He's next door to me. He was watching me bring my son in there faithfully. But guess what? After I drew all of my money down and started, the money ran out. It ran out. And I went to him, I said, you know what? I don't know. Don't look like I'm gonna make it. And you know what he told me? He said, you're gonna make it. He told me that. He said it's gonna be all right. Oh, I'll never forget that. But when he said it was gonna be all right, the money kept piling. I was $30,000 in the hole with him. Are you hearing me?
Mm.
And the young man I met, Mark, I never forget him. He has a brother who is impacted with special needs. He negotiated that lease when it was time to negotiate the lease. And do you know my landlord wiped that $30,000 out? Now you tell me that wasn't daddy. Come on. That's when I knew. Okay, daddy, you got this. He wiped it clean.
That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
my Lord,
Amen.
Father. Lord have mercy. Yeah.
For those that are listening, and myself too, as I'm trying to get as educated as I possibly can during this short period of time that we have for this interview, but is it a birth defect or what is there something or they don't know? They
really
still
don't
don't know.
They still don't know. They don't know. And I don't know if you know, what's her name? A lot of our stars, Tony Braxton, her son was diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple other, Dooley, Hughley. It's a lot
D.L.
of
Hughley.
D.L. Right.
Yeah,
Some of them
Gerard
didn't.
Cherry here locally, he
He-
played in the NFL and he's on local radio. His son.
His son too.
Yes.
But they were saying they believed it was in the vaccination. And a lot of the stars did not let their children get vaccinated. I know Tony Braxton to this day, she didn't believe it, you know. But they were thinking that that's where it was coming from. But you know how big a lawsuit that would be if that was true. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think, you know what I mean? All I know is when Adam and Eve messed up, the curse fell.
You're right.
Come on. So all of that came under the curse.
And plus this was here before the
Come on.
pandemic. So,
Come on. Oh,
yeah,
man.
don't even make me go down that
All right,
road.
come on
because
now.
I just rebuke all of that. But
Come on.
in what you were saying is so true about words, because you and I know that the power of life and death is in the tongue.
Yes.
Those will either that speak of it. So
Yes.
being you touched on this just a little bit just a few moments ago. Are there some unique challenges, I guess is a term I could use here. So are there some unique challenges for you being an African American woman in this field?
Yeah. It is.
Elaborate.
It is because we still have that spirit of prejudice is still there. But I don't let that intimidate me, because when you know who you are in Christ, see now when I first started that, I didn't know who I was. But as I'm growing in grace, and recognizing my authority in the spirit realm, see, we can bind and we can lose some things, and it's okay. We keep it moving, because just now think about it. Jesus came to finish the work. He did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He stayed focused on what he was here to do. That's why we have to do the same thing. We can't get distracted, regardless of the challenges, regardless of what tried to come up against us. This is what I was born to do, and can't the devil in hell stop me? So what I'm doing is I'm speaking life to these individuals. I'm not just sitting there, we just, shooting the breeze. No,
Right.
I'm speaking life. When I see Richard, hey Richard, how you doing today? How's your day going? How was it last night? And if he's talking, kind of coming out, I said, well, it's going to be all right, Richard. God got it. I'm always trying to speak life, trying to encourage them, because think about when we were in school, how sometimes teachers said negative things. That stuff affected us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true, because one of the most false statements that has ever been uttered is this statement: "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt
Come on.
me." That is a lie.
It's a lie.
Because the things that are spoken into you, especially at a young age,
That's right.
and especially if it comes from a parent
Come
or
on.
an authority figure that
Yes.
you respect,
Yes.
those tapes can play in your
Yes, they
head
do.
for
Mhm.
long after they were spoken to you. So
Absolutely.
that's so
It
true.
becomes a part of your image.
Mhm.
And that's why we have to get in the Word of God. Because the Word is what changes our image. See, God don't see us like we see ourselves. And that's what I'm saying. We have to renew our mind. And that's every day. Just like you talk about washing your hands. Well, you have to renew your mind every second, every minute of the day. Because if you don't renew your mind, you are messed up, man. Because now how are you thinking? You thinking how the world say you are. No. Nobody gonna tell me that I only can make this much. Now that ain't what Jesus said. What did Daddy say I can do? See, and that's what I'm doing. I'm learning how to do. Now that's a process, and that's gonna be till He come. But I decided I'm not gonna live my life according to what the world says. Now if Daddy said I can do that, I'm doing it, and I am. My pastor used to tell me, max it out. I'm maxing it out. You hear me? May the life I live speak for me.
And
Oh man.
what better legacy can you lead and to live
Come on.
than that?
Come on.
And what you said is so true. it's so true what you just said, because so often I say this, that we're not who we say we are, because we can either think too highly or too lowly of ourselves.
Come on.
We're not who other people say we are, because they only really know what we show them.
Oh, come on.
They don't really know the real you and I.
Yes.
So we are who God says we
That's
are.
it, brother.
And
That's it.
it's the word is right with them. I mean, you're more than a conqueror.
Yes,
You are
we
the
are.
head and not the tail.
Come on now.
You're blessed in the city, blessed in the field, blessed when you go and when you come out.
Yes, Lord.
That no weapon formed against you shall
Mm-mm.
prosper. God shall supply all your need according to his riches and glory in Christ. I mean, on and on and
Yes.
on. He's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ask or think, according to the power that
Come
works in
on.
you. So when we start, confessing what our true identity
Come
is.
on. What you say? What you say?
Yeah,
True.
Our true identity.
Oh my Lord.
Because when I was younger, I had a fake ID, because I grew up. I was a teen during the '70s, and I wanted to go to those blaxploitation movies, and I was not of age enough to see them. You had to be 17 and over.
Mm.
So what I did is, my high school ID, I put my age 2 years older than what I was, which is hilarious now, because I'm always trying to be younger now than what I am. And that allowed me to get into those movies, but I was really operating under a false identification.
I hear you.
And so many of us on a daily
Come on.
operate under a false identification. We let other people label us.
Yes.
Or we falsely label ourselves. So
come on.
Yeah. What is it that you would like our listening audience to know that they don't know about people, not just with autism or other, just developmental disabilities, period? What is it that you'd like the individuals that are listening and watching our show right now to know?
I want them to know, if you don't understand this community, just educate yourself. I had to do that myself. Just educate yourself. I was in the grocery store and Josiah was humming out the norm, and the lady just kept looking at him. And sometimes we, as parents, we find that intimidating. Okay, he's impacted by special needs, ma'am, so what's the problem? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so my thing is, if you see that, don't the staring and the, just educate yourself, because they humans just like you. They really are. They have feelings just like you. And if you don't understand it, your body language, we read that, so just educate yourself about this community. They are some of the coolest people, I'm telling you. Okay, they don't have no hidden agendas. They love Miss Irene, and Miss Irene love them. And they know that I'm going to take good care of them and provide that type of environment for a safe place for them to come.
Right.
They know that. They my friends.
And I just thought about something while you were saying that. Have you ever experienced any difficult moments publicly because of situations such as that you just mentioned?
Yeah, and what I do, I just put the fire out. But I'm watching my tones, because your tones says a lot. But it has been that. But it has been good too, because they know when we come in, they can tell that something is, different. But it's getting better. People are really recognizing that they're human. You know what I mean? God loves them too. But yeah, it's getting better. It's getting better, Pastor.
So, Irene, we come to the conclusion of our interview. Let's get your info out here. So, how can people contact you? Do you have your social media, Facebook,
yes.
Twitter? Put your social media.
Okay, so my Facebook is under Irene Jones. You can just go to Irene Jones. You'll see the hands, the house, and Facebook. You can see me on my Facebook there. I am on Instagram under Josiah's House Inc. And then also Josiah's House website, the josiahshousinc.org website. And then you can just contact me at Josiah's House, and the phone number there is 216-236-6960.
Okay, and will they be able to find that on the website too,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And again, the event is on May 13th.
Mm-hmm, May 13th.
At 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
At the
Doubletree
Hotel downtown.
Doubletree in Independence.
Oh, Independence.
You have been there?
On Rockside Road.
That's right, Rockside Road. You have been there?
I've been to that one. I've been to the one downtown.
They got some good food over there, man.
Okay.
Okay, Pastor, I'll be looking for you.
Okay.
Okay, now.
All right. Well, listen, we thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
coming
sir.
on today,
Thank
and
you so much for having
I hope that the people that are listening will support what you're doing, because what you're doing is really needed. It's some wonderful work.
me. Thank you so much.
We appreciate what you're doing. So we're going to take a break now. We'll be back with you at the top of the next hour. We'll have our guest for our second hour in. But right now, we're going to take a short break, play some music, some commercials, and we'll be right back at you. Thank you.
You a good host, sir. When I get ready to do my radio, I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna get y'all over there. Really good. I'm gonna send you the. As a matter of fact, I've been blowing it up on my Facebook.
Have you, a family member, or a friend been affected by violence? Know that violence can affect all parts of your life, sometimes in ways you can't see. Violence can affect the way you eat, sleep. It causes you to lose focus, feel angry, afraid, or even use drugs or drinking as a way to escape. But we're here to tell you that violence doesn't have to keep hurting, and you can change your life starting now with help from the Trauma Recovery Center. We want you to take control of your life. Today can be the day. The Trauma Recovery Center offers real help for real needs in real time. They offer services for food, clothes, safety, emotional support, and a whole lot more. So do not let violence control you. You can break free, and TRC can help. If you're listening, if you're watching, the numbers on the screen, 216-644-5487. They will come to you wherever you are. They offer real help for real needs in real time. They give you the tools to rebuild your life and your health. Call today. They are free, 24/7, and confidential. So look, if you want out and don't know where to start, call the Trauma Recovery Center. The Trauma Recovery Center will help you take back your life after violence starting today. Call today, get the help you need today. Again, 216-644-5487. On a personal note, if it's a family member or a friend or yourself, please take advantage of the fact that they will give you the tools to rebuild your life and your health. Give them a call, 216-644-5487. The Trauma Recovery Center of Northeast Ohio, also affiliated with the Center for Families and Children. And now, really, really quick, in honor of Women's Month, I just wanted to reintroduce to some and reintroduce to others one of my personal favorites. And, to be exact, she was one of the first Afro-American inventors and patent makers here in the U.S. And on April 26, 1892, she obtained United States patent number 400,073,563 for her improvements to the ironing board. Introducing Sarah Boone. Boone's ironing board was designed to improve the quality of ironing the sleeves and the bodies of women's garments. So, um, listen, Boone is regarded as the first, second, followed by Judy Reed, along with Miriam Benjamin, Ellen Eldlin, and Sarah Good. So Boone was a pioneer and inventor in her personal life. She was born in Craven County, North Carolina, near the town of New Bern in 1832, along with her three siblings who were born to slavery and borrowed from education. Sarah was educated by her grandfather at home. On November 25th, 1847, she married James Boone, a free black man in New Bern, and was granted freedom from slavery. They had 8 children. Um, Listen, I tell you all the time, there's so much to learn about the process, and it is an extensive process to how all this came about from her. And as I say every day of the week, GOOGLE, GOOGLE. If you can't pull up to a library, you got your phones, you got your tablets, you got your iPads. Listen, there's access. Google. Knowing your history is knowing your today. I'm decisive, and this is the right side. And now back to Jeff Joggett.
Thank you, Marie. Once again, we want to thank our guests in the first hour. It's Irene Jones from Josiah's House. Hope you found that as informative as I did, learned a lot, and so hopefully you did as well. In our second hour, we are also fortunate and blessed to have a outstanding guest. As you know, as we said in the beginning of our program, this is Women's Month, Women's History Month, and throughout this month, we are featuring prominent women in various fields of life, various walks of life, here on the right side. And here in the second hour, we are so proud to have in studio with us Miss Ramona Hazel from Pinnacle Solutions. That's Pinnacle Solutions, Pinnacle, if you don't know how to spell it. Pinnacle Staff Solutions, staffing and, business solutions. Pinnacle Staffing and Business Solutions. Ramona, welcome to the right side and welcome to No Static Radio. We are so glad to have you in studio with us today.
Hello, thank you so much, Jeff.
So, as I deal with our guests in the first hour, tell our listening audiences out there just dying to know, who is Ramona Hazel? Tell our audience just exactly who Ramona Hazel is.
Well, Ramona Hazel, I am a mom entrepreneur. Four busy, wonderful girls, toddler through teens. I love them. They are the basis and one of the reasons why I started um, on this entrepreneurial journey. To kind of piggyback on the first guest, I too have a daughter with special needs. And so it really put a fire under me to make sure that I was providing a good life for her. And I have 25 years customer service experience. I say that because customer service is in every field, from your cashier to your HR director. So pretty much what I've done, I've just created a business model that allows me to keep my cup full so that I can pour into my kids by working for myself. There's a lot of other things that I can go into, but we stick with just being a mom and entrepreneur, and just changing my mindset and try to provide a better life for them and for myself.
That's great. That's great. So, what inspired you to get started with Pinnacle?
So Pinnacle Staffing and Business Solutions is a restructured business that I had started in 2020. As everyone knows, COVID hit and everyone was at home. At the time, because I'm still during the day administrator, we had to learn how to do work from home. And it was a challenge because I had my children there. At that time, I had 3 children. But it was something that we had to do, so we crushed it, and it became more evident to me that this type of lifestyle was something that I needed. I needed a more balanced lifestyle between work and to play, to make sure that I could be there for my children and still take care of everything that I needed to take care of for them, and still provide and still live a life that I like. So once that all happened, I started my consulting agency then, but it was kind of all over the place. I did credits, I did meal service, and then I kind of put it on the back burner. Things happen in life, and I kind of just got to the point where I really wanted to just invest in myself more. Instead of going to look for another job, I said, you know what? There's things that I know that I'm good at, and I know one thing from my background. My brother, he's the owner operator for a trucking company for over 20 years. So entrepreneurship has always been something that's been in the forefront.
Seems like it runs in your family.
It does. My mom, she's always talked about different businesses that she wanted to start, and just looking in her eyes and how passionate she was about it, it kind of made me inspired. I didn't go to school for that, but once I started to realize that I needed to create my own opportunities, I was like, you know what, let me just take what I know how to do plus what I can do, and kind of combine that and figure out how to help other people who need to work from home, how they can do that and how they can balance their lifestyle, not just from getting a job, but changing their lifestyle, changing their mindset, saving money, and going from earned income to more passive income, where I feel like financial freedom and time where that lies. So that's where I'm kind of going, just to make sure that other people know that there's other opportunities out there if you need to be more flexible in your life.
So I'm just curious, when you were saying that back 3 years ago during the pandemic, and you were working from home, and all your children were home with you at that time, how difficult of a challenge, or maybe it wasn't that difficult of a challenge, but how challenging was that for you?
It was very challenging. I think just because it was change, and change is always challenging, but in the midst of change, you really start to see how strong you are, just different things that you didn't know that you were capable of doing, that you're able to do. But we crushed it. We made up a plan. It was difficult more so with my special needs daughter because they wanted to have things be via Zoom, and that was just difficult for her because she needs therapy. She needs that one-on-one. But I have a very good support system. My mom, my grandmother, they always make sure that they pour into her to give her the love that she needs and help out when I need. But just for long term, what do I do just in case that doesn't help or that help isn't there? What do I do to make sure that I'm providing for the kids and making sure that they, have the best life possible?
Okay. You're listening to The Right Side on No Static Radio. We don't bring the static, but we sure not bring the noise. We have in studio with us Ramona Hazel from Pinnacle Solutions. Ramona, your business, your organization, you deal with businesses all across the country. Is that correct?
Yep, they're Fortune 500
Fortune
companies.
500 companies. Mm-hmm. Oh, great. So, how do you establish the relationship with these various businesses, especially these Fortune 500 businesses? How do you establish a relationship with them for them to come in and do business with you?
Well, for this, it's a particular contract that I have with this virtual service platform. They pretty much provide all of the technology, the training, the certifications that you need. I'm kind of like the person that kind of ushers you into this opportunity because to me, it's more of a business opportunity. You're working for yourself. You're setting your own hours. You're pretty much your own boss. So for me, I'm the middle person that's getting you to these opportunities to be able to set your own stuff up pretty much for whatever you want to do. In addition to that, if you want to find full-time work, I can help you with that too. I can help you get certifications if you want to do something more customer service and be certified, then I can help you with that. But the contract that I required with this virtual service platform allows for people to really get in front of companies that they maybe never would have had the opportunity to and do customer service for them.
Now, do you meet with the HR people from these companies to fill out what they're looking for personnel, or is this just something that you do all through social media and things of that nature?
Well, as an entrepreneur and people that know that when you're starting off, you wear so many hats. Mm-hmm. So right now, I am the HR director, the social media director, all of that, which is fun, but it can get a little taxing.
I can imagine.
But it's something I'm passionate about, and I feel like these opportunities are available for people that, at least if they have a customer service background, some type of computer, that they should be able to do it.
So what in your previous employment, if anything, prepared you for what you're doing now? Were you able to take any skills from things that you had done previously and now be able to employ them in what you're doing right now?
For sure. So that's what I meant when I said I have 25 years customer service experience. I've been working since I was 15. And I started as a hostess. And I feel like that was my initial kind of take on customer service, how to speak to people, how to relate to people, how to have conflict resolution skills, interpersonal skills. Those are different skill sets that I've acquired and I've helped develop with other people through training, and I help develop them through this company as well. Just to show them that customer service, it doesn't matter if you're a cashier or HR director, like you have to make sure that you're able to communicate with people who are your internal customers and your external customers.
Now, is there specific training that you guys do with people who come to you? For example, if someone is experienced in a certain field, but you still, you want to acclimate them to exactly what you all are trying to do. Is there specific training that they have to go through? And if so, are you one of the trainers, or is the people within the organization trained?
It's still it's client based. So whatever client that
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So whatever client that you choose based on your skill sets, your assessment, how well you do with your interview. They'll provide you with all that necessary information as far as what they need for training, because every client is different. Sometimes it'll be 3 weeks. It doesn't go longer than 4 weeks, but they will tell you how they want you to interact with their customers because they understand that customer service is the basis of their business. If the brands break down, if their customer service isn't good. So they definitely provide that for you, and it's no cost. for you to do that. And once you're certified, you're good to go.
Also, the training is free for the individual.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, okay.
yep, and
That's
it's
great.
online. It's offered a couple of times throughout the day, so it's convenient. You have the opportunity that you can service more than one client. So if you want to have something from 9 to 1, and then take a break, and then pick up your kids or do whatever you need to do, and then come back and log in and service for a couple other hours, then that's something that you can do too.
Oh, okay, so I see, you can be one individual working for multiple companies.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Now, I was reading information about Pinnacle, and it said that you guys assist your clients with brand strategies and social media marketing. What exactly do you guys do?
Okay, so I am a person that believes in having multiple streams of income. When I started looking at starting my business back in 2020, one of, I would say, a mentor, she would say that home-based businesses are the way to go, because there's so many tax benefits. You can hire your kids, which I've done. Alyssa and Elena, they helped me so much with my business. Yeah, my 2 older daughters, they're good with technology, so I can pay them and then have that tax benefit at the end of the year. So things like that. It was something that I was like really interested in, and I've noticed like a lot of people have side hustles, and I specialize in helping people take the side hustle and make it more legitimate. Starting the business from the basis, making sure you got your LLC, making sure you structured everything correctly, make sure you have a actual business address, helping you with your website. Helping you kind of figure out what you want your brand to say. How do you want to show up in the world? What is your story? How do you want to get it out there? And how do you want to, bring this passion that you have to the front and, live out your dreams? So in that access, if it's doing hair, if you want to, be a better, if you want to expand your brand and maybe get into partnerships, if you want to do anything really, just to kind of take that side hustle and legitimize it and start to make money and have more than one stream of income, and maybe even retire and just do that full time, which I'm trying to do.
Yes, I can understand that most definitely. You're listening to the right side on No Static Radio. We don't bring the static, but we sure enough bring the noise. And we have in studio with us Ramona Hazel. If you have any questions for our guests, please give us a call at 216-939-5087, 216-939-5087. So Ramona, how does the process work? For example, let's say that I were to come to you and say that, this is something that I want to explore doing, and I have a background, let's just say, in travel. Well, I did travel for X amount of years. So how would that process work?
Yes, so just wanted to say that first of all, there's many part-time remote customer service opportunities in travel, like you mentioned, retail, roadside assistance, healthcare, financial assistance, financial services rather. So first of all, just have that background, have a computer, and a willingness to learn, because there are going to be classes that you're going to have to take. Sometimes people are a little leery with that, just because we just need to make sure that you're going to be providing the best customer service for this particular client that you'll service. But then the application process is very straightforward. We just need to make sure that you have that background, that you have the technical skills, that you're able to commit to the time that you want, the hours that you pick, the clients that you service, and complete an assessment. That's pretty much it, because the assessment is going to tell you what kind of opportunities that you're going to qualify for those particular clients. And it can be multiple ones, it can be 1 or 2. It kind of just depends on your skills level. So if you have the customer service experience, you have the willingness to learn, you have the background technology, then you should be fine.
And is that how you garner your income, from people coming and so many people to get started up, that you get a percentage of what they're doing? Is that what it is?
Okay, so that's part of the model, we have the virtual service platform, which is the cloud-based technology that you'll sign into, that you get all your work. Then you have the service partner, which is this company, which we house the revenue, I would say. We're the payroll. We help with troubleshooting, getting you registered, any other referrals that you may need. Because I know a lot of people are kind of leery sometimes of independent contractors positions, and that's only because of the tax thing. And we've partnered with a tax professional to make sure that you're structuring your life, your business as a business. You don't necessarily need an LLC to do it, but if you structure your business and think of yourself as a boss, then you'll be able to know what you can deduct and how to kind of move from there. And then there's the independent contractor, which is the person who sets their own hours and picks the clients that they want to service. And I'm just there to kind of help you get to that opportunity and provide you with the tax information at the beginning of the year, any troubleshooting, and that's pretty much my role. There is a fee for accessing the cloud, just like most fees, and then there's a fee for the payroll or the fee for the company. There's other fees, if you want to learn how to be your own boss, if you want to start your own business, or if you want to get customer service certifications through this partnership that we have. There's cost to that. And there's other costs that I have, digital costs, but it's not something that you need to do or have in order to get started. You just need to make sure you have a computer and you're ready to service the clients, because you're going to be under contract if you do come on with the company. Just saying that if I sign up for this, I'm going to do it.
So you mentioned your daughters work with you or work with you. That's interesting.
Yeah.
How do they feel about working with mom?
They love it. They're like my biggest support system. Like, they see mommy. It makes me so emotional thinking about it, because they've helped. I've done like interviews. And I'm like, okay, keep Ari over here. That's my baby.
Mm-hmm.
Keep her quiet. I just need to hop on the Zoom. I did an informational Zoom. I'll like run some things by them. And they're like, oh yeah, that's good. Or I'll try to do something with TikTok because I have no idea how to use it. They're like, oh, you can try this or you can try that. So I just tap into their already experience and things that they love to do already. And it's already inspired them to kind of want to start entrepreneurship too. My oldest daughter, she really surprised me. She gave me a list of all the places we could put our vending machine, because they always getting snacks. And I was like, you know what? this is something that y'all can do. This could be your business. So she came back and she had a list of places we could put a vending machine. So now we're scouting vending locations, and that's a perfect opportunity for her to see, from the start, hard work pays off. Yeah.
Well, that's really great, because now wherever you put those vending machines, I'm pretty sure she'll get a percentage of it.
It's for them. It's for them. All for them. I want them to figure out what kind of inventory, go through pricing. But that's for them. That's real life application of stuff that may not be taught in school, but we go teach it at home.
Exactly. But sometimes that's the best place to learn is at home. You mentioned the social media aspect of it. Given the pitfalls that we see with social media today, social media can be a minefield sometimes because of some of the things that are out there, which I'm sure you're probably well aware of. So given the pitfalls of social media, have you run into any obstacles through social media that may not have been good for your business or what it is you're doing?
No, I think I started kind of with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
What communication? What do I want to communicate? How do I want to show up to the world? And once I decided that, I kind of kept it in those categories. I just want to inspire. I want to show people that there's other ways to kind of make extra money if you have a side hustle. I just try to shield myself from that. And one of my biggest social media platforms, which is Facebook, I received so much positive love and support. There's things that happen outside of that, but for the most part, it's always been pretty positive. I think I try to structure the Facebook feed that way. If there's any negativity, I just, don't have it because I really decided when I wanted to invest myself that I needed to change my mindset and believe in yourself and watch what I say, watch what I see, watch what I, allow around me to not negatively affect me. So it hasn't. I'm quite sure as his business grows, just as life, it will. But I think if I always come back to who I am and what I'm here for, that I think that I'll be able to navigate it.
And Ramona, that's wise too, because you're gonna have detractors, or I guess the colloquial term for my haters. You're gonna have those people out there, and you just really just can't sweat what they're saying. Once you have your goal and your focus, as you are well aware and you've already articulated, then they can't stop you.
Yeah.
You can only stop yourself. That happens so much, and I'm so glad that you got your daughters, especially at a young age in the teen years, because of all the things and pressures they feel. Oh, you can't do this, and you can't do that, and what have you. And they're seeing at a very young age that yes, they can achieve something if they do put their mind to it, and work for it. They can achieve it.
Absolutely. They're like, Mommy, I'm so proud of you, and that to me means everything. That they can see that. My older, she's like, I don't know how you do it, Mom. You have so many kids.
And great, they see it in you too, which makes you a role model. But then, as you just stated a few minutes ago, with them starting their own thing with the vending machines, what have you, now they can start to see it within themselves as well too. That's just fantastic there. So being black and female in what you're doing, advantage, disadvantage, or nothing at all? How would you answer? Is it advantage, disadvantage? Are there any obstacles you've come up against?
Yeah, I think there definitely can be a lot of disadvantages just because I'm African American. There's been disadvantages in corporate world or government, should I say. But I think for me, I just continue to work hard, stay positive, and just wait for the right opportunities. Just stay ready. Just wait for the right opportunities. Because this business that I started in 2020, I'm just, now 3 years here now, in a good position. I have a couple agents. When I did open it up, as far as the application process, I got over 1,000 application responses. I was extremely overwhelmed because, like I said, it's still just me. And I've had the opportunity to kind of just find how I want things to flow. And I think that's a lot from just believing in myself. My mom has always, put that into me, instilled that into me, and just believe in myself. Regardless if I'm a woman or black or anything like that, I have to just see myself first as a child of God, as a mom. And then it's like, okay, then I'm black here too. But at the same time, I need to make sure that I'm not limiting myself in any way that I'm thinking, because if I'm a girl or if I'm this or that, I can't achieve anything. But as far as systematically, yes, there has been some issues. I'm at the point right now where I want to start building business credit. And because I didn't have that good foundation as far as credit, personal credit, I was able to raise my credit and make some good changes, but it kind of threw me off a little bit because I didn't have that background. I didn't have that financial background coming in. So yeah, that was a little disadvantage, but now that I know better, I know how to kind of move better, I know how to budget better, everything else is kind of on me. Yeah, there are disadvantages, but what I don't know, I can learn and I can apply it. I can help it benefit my life.
You're listening to the right side on No Static Radio, where we don't bring the static, but we sure enough bring the noise. We have in studio with us in celebration of Women's History Month, Ramona Hazel. Ramona, you on that same track, do you find your male counterparts, do you feel as though they view you as an equal, or do they treat you as just another pretty face, so to speak? Do you feel like sometimes they're condescending, or do they treat you as an equal?
That's a really good question, because I think I'm at that place where I'm trying to break out of that stereotype, because I know people will see a picture, they'll see this, that they assume they know who you are, they assume that they know your story, but um, I think the only thing for me is to put myself out there, which is kind of scary, is to let people know and see who I am, and that I really have a heart for helping people if it's helping you get another job, if it's helping you change your mindset, all of that. So I've gotten both. Like for social media, if I post a cute picture, it's like, oh, it's all this. If I post something inspirational, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like okay, well, this is kind of cute, but like I like that. So I think I'm in that in between time where it's like I'm trying to put myself out there, but it's up to whoever that's on the other side how they want to view me. But I know for one thing, I just would love for them just to respect the fact that I am trying, to make something of myself. And if I can do it with all these challenges, then they can definitely do it.
And yeah, and I got something I want to ask you about those challenges too. But just to follow up on a statement, obviously a very beautiful woman, but what you want people to recognize you for is with your professionalism and your intellect and what have you. You're not trying to be in a Miss America contest or anything like that. You're trying to establish business. So let's keep it business. So
yeah, but it's we're in a visual era,
true.
social media, so
True.
it's a balance that I have to take, because if you don't show the audience or post certain things, then everybody's attention span is gone. So it's a balance.
Yeah, it's a fine line. You have to, I guess, what you have to determine within yourself is how to tread that fine line, if you will, so that, I want to, remain business. I can come across as business, but, I also want to present myself. So that's something that I'm sure that you have to make that decision with and deal with as you continue to promote the business. But as a single mother, and you talked about, your children, especially your oldest, who said, "Mom, I just don't know how you do it and see how you do it on a daily basis." As a single mother, how difficult is it for you to do what you're doing?
It's difficult,
especially with 4 children. You said you have an infant too.
Yeah,
How old is your baby?
She'll be a year next month.
Okay.
So yeah, it is difficult. I think my sister-in-law, she always said if you have, I think she said 3 kids, like any kid after that is just, it's just another kid. Like you kind of get used to being in the flow of certain things, and I know that I know how to run a household, but there's days when I fall apart. There's days when I have to get 4 different places at one time and still make sure that I'm, still clocking in, at work. So that's difficult, but that gives me the drive and the hustle to continue to believe in myself, because I know that me being more remote and me having this type of lifestyle will be beneficial for me and my kids, because I wouldn't be so stressed out, trying to get to the grocery store, trying to do this, trying to do that, that I can kind of structure my life, my work around my life, and still make a good living. So all the obstacles that I face, how difficult it is, it just continues to drive me to get to where I need to go, because that's all it is. I'm uncomfortable in certain situations, so that just means I need to move. So I keep moving and just pray and keep putting God first to make sure that my mind is together, because that once that goes, everything else is, it goes by the wayside. But as long as I'm keeping God first and, doing what I need to do, I feel like he's always had my back.
And you mentioned that. So do you find your inner strength then from your spiritual life through your prayer and through your relationship with God through Christ? Is that where you find your inner strength to be able to do what you do on a daily?
For sure, for sure. I need them all day, every day, because it's tiring. As far as me, I like to be real disciplined and orderly and planned. And a lot of things with life, and especially having children, it doesn't go as planned. And I think I'm learning to kind of get that tie, get that feel together, kind of how things should flow, and kind of letting things flow a little bit better, and knowing that at the end of the day, in the beginning and the middle of the day, that God is in control.
Especially after the pandemic and when things, well, I don't know if they're quite back to normal yet, but when things got starting to be more normalized than what they were during the pandemic, we saw a lot of reports on the news where businesses had jobs available but did not have the individuals to fulfill those jobs for whatever reason. Yeah. Do you find that in what you're doing, there's opportunity out there, and that you just don't have the people to fulfill some of the opportunity that is out there?
I think in this area, yes, because when I opened it up through Indeed, I had a lot of people that was in Texas, Georgia, a lot of the southern states. They applied. They really would like to be remote. And I had a couple people kind of northeast Ohio that applied. But yeah, I've seen the signs too, and I've seen how much they offer. So I thought, I was like, okay, well, if they're not working, then they're at home. So if they're at home, then they can work. So I wanted to really bring this business, open it up more to the community here, just to let them know that if you're going to be at home, and if you have the desire to make some extra money, that you can do it. So that's kind of been my focus, is kind of just promote more in Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, but it's been a lot of response all over the country, specifically more in the southern states, Georgia, Atlanta, Texas. They kind of want to do remote work. So I want to make sure that people in Cleveland and Northeast Ohio just have that option.
That's interesting. That's an interesting dynamic. I never would have thought that. I wonder why people in southwestern and southeastern states will have more propensity to want to work remote than those who are in the Midwest. I don't know. Maybe, I guess because the economy for so long in Midwestern states like Ohio and Pennsylvania and Michigan have been industrial. That's why we got dubbed the Rust Belt. Yeah. And you were so used to being in an office or in a factory, have you. Maybe that has something to do with that. I don't know. That's an interesting dynamic. I never would have thought that.
That is. And I feel like now, since you said things are kind of quote unquote normal, more employers are requiring people to come back to work more days. I think a hybrid or remote work would be beneficial. But for people like me that have kids, or people who can't just get out, it makes it more difficult to find childcare, find whatever you need to take care of what you need to do. So it just makes it more difficult around in this area to have a remote opportunity.
Now, is that all you guys do, is just remote? Do you all do any, I guess for lack of a better term, training for people that want to work in or deal with companies that want people that are in office?
No, not necessarily. Like, I wouldn't say I would turn someone away if they want to do some type of certifications to get full-time customer service experience or professional certifications. Then I can work with them. I have a partnership with them. But for me, it's more remote, remote customer service, remote opportunities, just because I just want to be able to provide that as an option for other people who doesn't necessarily have the opportunity to go to work every day, for travel or anything like that, childcare. So it's really mostly just remote.
You're listening to the right side on No Static Radio. We don't bring the static, but we sure enough bring the noise. We have in the studio with us in celebration of Women's History Month, entrepreneur Ramona Hazel. If you have any questions for her, please give us a call at 216-939-5087. 216-939-5087. If you want to know how you can get involved, or if you're looking to do work and you're looking to do work remotely, I'm pretty sure she would love to hear from you here during this time. So please take advantage of this while she's here. This is she's vital and viable resource of information here. So if you're listening and you're interested in this, please give us a call. Uh, Ramona, so in this field, this is on a daily. What is your? That's what I meant to ask you. What is your exact title? What is your exact title, and what are your exact responsibilities that you do?
Well, I own and operate it, so
So you're the CEO.
Yeah, it's the CEO, which sounds so weird to say. But I wear all the hats. I structured it from the ground up. When I did my first kind of structuring of my LLC in 2020, I kind of just did it because I felt the need to. I feel like a lot of people were starting their own business because they were home, they were just going through whatever awakening that they had, and they kind of wanted to do something that they were more passionate about. And I was following suit to an extent. I wasn't really sure which kind of direction I was going in, but since I've discovered to putting my expertise plus my passion, when I restructured this, I was able to kind of make it be what I wanted it to be. So I started it, getting the foundation together, and then I have to make sure I market it, get all the partnerships with the different companies, secure the contracts, secure. I have a contract with Paychex for the pay, legal contract with that to make sure the contracts that the independent contractors are signing are beneficial for both parties. What else?
Do you negotiate like healthcare or what have you for your workers, or is that something that they negotiate independently with the company they're going to be working for?
So they don't offer that, the companies, because they're not full time,
Okay.
and because they're independent contractors, you kind of have to have your own. But I have referrals for that, and referrals for mental health, because even though remote work is very beneficial, it can be very isolating, and I've noticed that definitely in 2020, and then sometimes now it can be very isolating. So once the isolation sets in, different thoughts sets in, it can lead down to a spiral somewhere you don't want to go. So I want to create a community that allows for people to know that if they need to talk to somebody, if they need to get some type of help, that they can do that. So I have referrals for that. And just different tax professional referrals, just to make sure you're setting everything up. But as far as your health insurance, they do offer different plans for independent contractors. So that's still something that you can do.
Okay, and to your point that you just said, that is so true, because in the career that I had for numerous years, for the majority of those years, I worked in an office. I worked for United Airlines for 4 years, and I worked in an office, a huge office. There was over 200 people in the office there, in the reservations office. And then after I left, well, actually after United left me, because they left Cleveland, I got a job in downtown Cleveland with another, where I was working in another office where there was quite a few individuals within the office. And you start to develop a camaraderie with those people to the point that, you know, bonds start to form and what have you. And I remember in 2019, in June of 2019, 6 months prior to the pandemic, where we didn't know anything about it, anything called COVID, they closed our office. The company closed our office and sent all of us home to work. And that was a big adjustment for all of us, even to this day. You know, even to this day, some four, what's this, 23, some almost 4 years later, and those like myself that have retired and gone on, we still have that kind of bond with those people that we work with, and things were just never the same after that. When they sent us home, it was kind of weird and kind of strange to be sitting there and not have anybody to talk to and, you know, to interact with and what have you. So I'm sure that has to be an adjustment for some people that are used to that setting.
Yeah, for sure. And that's exactly why I wanted to have some type of community, because at the end of the day, we are social people. We have to have that interaction with other people. If it's not for entertainment, just for, just to get stuff off of your chest, just to have another person to interact with, is definitely needed. So that's one of my kind of things that I kind of hesitate with remote work. But if you can make sure you are, I guess, knowledgeable about yourself, kind of checking in with yourself, making sure, you know, hey, I'm doing all right, or to have somebody that you're checking in with all the time, that's something that you should be able to conquer. But it's definitely something that it has to be taken into consideration when you are considering remote work.
Now, do you personally deal with, I guess for lack of a better term, job violations or people that aren't doing what they're supposed to do, or is that again something that the company you contracted them with, they deal with that?
It's kind of both ways. There's metrics, performance metrics that they have to have when they're servicing the clients. So I will get that information. I haven't had any issues so far, because the people that independent contractors, agents that I have, they're professionals. You know, they've had the customer service experience. They signed a contract, and the contract is pretty much, it tells you, it lets you know, like, these are the performance matrix that you have to have. You have to, if you sign up for a particular class, you have to take the class. If you sign up for these hours, because you're picking your hours, you have to service those hours. And anything else outside of that is a violation of the contract. And, you know, whenever you talk about contract violations, there's fees with it. So I think once you get to that place where you know that this is something that you want to do and you can make that commitment, that I haven't had any issues with anyone violating it. But those are the only things that could, you know, kind of get somebody off track or ban them for a particular client or ban them for the company.
Right. If you sign a contract saying that I'm going to do 9 to 1, that doesn't mean 9:15 to 12:45. That means 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so yes. So Ramona, as we come to near the end of our hour here, how would an individual who's listening to us on radio right now, or might be watching us right now on Facebook or YouTube, how would they get in contact if they were interested in becoming a part of what you're doing?
Yes. First, I wanted to say that we are on Facebook. I just did a computer giveaway about a couple of months ago. And in the future, I'm just projecting this. I would like to partner with this company that's local here. It's called PCs for People.
Mm-hmm.
They have extremely blessed my family. Definitely during that pandemic, they provided computers for my kids so they can stay online, which was a blessing. And they can help you get a computer if you're looking for a computer. If that's one of the reasons why you're like, oh, I can't do it, contact PCs for People. They can help you get a computer. So that's one thing. The next thing is to have a good internet connection service. Have good internet connection service, wired headphones, customer service experience, willingness to learn, and apply in your classes, and a commitment to service the hours. You should be good to go. But as far as texting me, you can text me. This is the business cell phone, 216-306-4005. I can send you out a link to apply, and we can just take it from there.
Okay, so that's 216-306-4055.
I'm sorry, 4005.
4005. Okay, so there you go. You can send a text.
I'll send you out the
She'll
application.
send you the application and plug your headset in and let's go. Let's get started and get right at it and get some money. Ron, is there anything in closing that you would like to say to our listening audience?
Just thank you for listening. Thank you, Jeff, so much for this opportunity. I haven't seen you in a while, and it's so good to see you. It's like a full circle moment. Known you since I was 18 years old.
Like what? That was like 5 years ago,
a couple
right?
years ago, and just to see from what you were doing then to your ministry table at Rainbow, to here, and you're still ministering to the people. I know they're in good hands, and I know they've been blessed by you. So I just want to continue to guide you, encourage you to continue to listen to him because he is wise. I thank him so much for this opportunity, and I just want you guys to know that if you are looking for some type of work part-time that you can do real easy, these are good customer service jobs, I call them. You're talking to people who are going on travels or going traveling, who are just doing normal things that you can kind of get extra money. Just come on.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Ramona, and that check will be in the mail to you. And I'll pay you for what I told you to say about me on it. No, I'm just teasing. Thank you so much. We've known each other for a while. So as we close, each week we close with our hero and zero of the week. But before I do so, I just want to express our condolences to the family and friends of actor Lance Reddick. You may remember him if you were a fan of The Wire like I was. He played one of the detectives there on The Wire. He was also in the John Wick movies, and he died suddenly at the young age of 60 on yesterday. So condolences to the family and friends of Lance Reddick, a really great actor. And you may not know him by me saying his name, but if you saw The Wire, if you saw John Wick, or you saw some of the other things that he was in, I remember he did a guest appearance on a Law and Order episode at one time. He was fantastic in that. And so just want to give the shout out to that family. Our hero of the week. This was a story that I saw the other day on Thursday on a local news station here in town. And our hero of the week is 100-year-old Canal Fulton resident. He just turned 100 on this past Thursday, on the 16th of March. So 100-year-old Canal Fulton, Ohio resident by the name of Guy Atkinson. And if you saw the story like I did, you would never think that this man was 100 years old. I mean, he looked like maybe he was about 75 years old or so. He moved around. He didn't have a walker. He walked around. It was amazing. But that's not the reason that we're selecting him as the hero of the week. It's amazing to be 100. But this was a man who served his country in the armed forces in World War II, fought in the European theater, saw quite a lot of action there in the European theater, and then was captured by the Germans and was a prisoner of war during World War II. And his statement was he thought that he was never going to survive the prisoner of war camp he was in, but he was liberated from the prisoner of war camp, came back to the States, and he was married. He was married to his wife for over 70 years. She's deceased now, but so he is our hero of the week. Our zero of the week has been someone who has won this award on quite a few occasions. And he hasn't won it for a while, but he's back. And so we want to honor him this week by giving him his just due as our zero of the week. And that's none other than the former President of the United States, the 45th President of the United States, and that's one Donald Trump. Now, you ask, well, Jeff, what has he done this week to be the zero? Well, he put something on Truth Social, speaking of social media, as we were talking with our guest just a few moments ago, that if you're aware of what's going on in the news, there's been a grand jury convened in New York and dealing with the whole alleged illegal payoff of porn actress Stormy Daniels. And former President Trump put out on Truth Social on yesterday that he is going to be arrested this week on Wednesday and appear before the grand jury. Now, that's not why we are nominating him as zero of the week this week, though, because he went on to continue on that social media and to urge his followers to, quote, go out and protest, unquote. Now, if you remember the last time that he urged his followers to do that, if you remember the last time when he said come to Washington, D.C. on the 6th of January because it was going to be wild, if you remember at that, when they showed up that day on the Capitol list, how he gave this speech about how if you want your government back, you have to go and you got to fight like hell to do it. And of course, we know what happened on January 6th of 2021. So for him to come out now on social media and tell his followers that he is about to be arrested on Wednesday, and for them to go out and protest, what he is doing is really inciting another riot. So for this reason, now the New York City Police Department are on emergency standby, anticipating trouble and violence this week. So for this reason, Donald Trump, once again, multiple winner of this award. I'm going to start keeping score to see which one has won it the most, him or Marjorie Taylor Greene. But for this incitement of a riot, Donald Trump, you are this week's Right Side Zero of the Week. You've been listening to The Right Side on No Static Radio. We don't bring the static, but we sure enough bring the noise. We come at you every Saturday. We talk politics, we talk sports, we talk the issues of the day. And we're so glad to have you listening to us. We want to thank everybody who listened to us on Mixler, on TuneIn, for those who watched us on YouTube and Facebook Live. But right now, I see that my time is up.
We'd like to thank you for tuning in to the Right Side on the station where we don't bring no static, but we sure enough bring the noise on Static Radio. Thank you guys for tuning in to The Right Side with your host, Jeff Doggett. And you know what it is? We've got more music for your listening pleasure here on your Voice of the Revolution on staticradio.net. Powered by Google, partner with Colors, and sponsored by Lamont Avenue Wines, the Cleveland Rugby League, and Hot Girls Gear. You guys be safe. Have a great weekend. Stay warm and be careful out here. Winter storm warning in effect as of right now until 2 p.m. tomorrow. So you guys stay warm, stay safe, and we'll talk to you on Monday. And also next week, the return of Ron and Tay with the Wednesday Night House Party on Speakeasy Radio. Yes, and so much more, you guys. Make sure you guys tune in tonight on the BBW show as we host the Michael Jackson Experience versus Off the Wall versus Invincible. So that should be really exciting. In 2 weeks, you can catch us all weekend long at the Piston Power Autorama. So all the shows will be out there if you guys want to step out. The IX Center tickets are $18, free for kids 12 and under. And look, come in there and have a great time, a great weekend. But in the meantime, in the between time, we've got more music. So you guys stay tuned, stay warm, stay safe. Refresh if you're on Mixler and hold tight if you're on TuneIn, and we'll be right back at you. Love you. Peace.